Hello guys, so welcome back to the SQL section of data engineering with Animesh, and I'm back with another interesting question. So let us jump directly to the question. The question is market analysis 1 and it is rated as medium in the complexity level. So there are three tables: users, orders and items. So users have three columns. User ID is the primary key of this table. This table has the info of the user of an online shopping website where users can sell and buy items. So it has user ID, join date when user has joined their website, and favorite brand. Then orders, where order ID is the ID of the order they have made, order date, item ID, buyer ID, and seller ID. Okay. Items is item ID and item brand. Write a solution to find for each user the join date. Okay, so from where we are getting the join date from the very first table. Okay, and the number of orders they made as a buyer in 2019. So basically we are concerned about the year 2019, if you see, and how many orders they made as a buyer means we have to join with the buyer ID. We have to take buyer ID into consideration where they were a buyer. Okay, so let's get started with the answer, and I don't think we need this table, the items table, but still let us see where we reach from the information that is given. So first thing, we have to select user ID, because see, if you see the output table, there's buyer ID, but it is taking into consideration all the user ID. So we will say like this: select u dot user underscore ID as buyer ID. This was given just to confuse you. So comma u dot join date. Okay, we have to give join date in the output. Join underscore date. And now what you have to give? You have to give the count of how many times they were a buyer in year 2019. Means suppose, see, if you see the buyer ID, user ID 1 was buyer these two times, okay, but only once it was within year 2019. So you have to basically count. So what we are going to do, count of o dot order, how many times the order were made. Count of order ID from users u left join. And why I'm doing left join, because you also have to take into consideration all the users where there were no order in 2019. You see, 3 and 4 would have not been buyer in 2019. See, user ID 3, only one entry, and that too for 2018. User ID 4, only one entry, and that too for 2018. So that is why I'm using left join. Okay. So orders O on. Now where you will do the join, u dot user ID is equals to o dot buyer ID. Okay, because you have to take into consideration when they were buyer. And what is the another condition? And year of o dot order underscore date is equals to 2019. Okay, so these are the conditions that you have to take care. And then what you do, group by u dot user ID. Why you are doing group by, I will explain that. Because see, this is the first user that you are taking. No, this has only one entry. So take any example which has two entries for year 2019. Okay, so suppose user ID 2 has two entries for 2019. So when you are counting it, you need to provide the limit, means, or you to provide the group in which the count has to be made. Else it will take whole table as one group only. That's why we are giving the group as user ID, that for every user ID count the number of times they have acted as a buyer. Okay, so count of, or they have ordered as a buyer. So group by user ID, I think. And let me see the column names that are given. Okay, so there's one more column, orders in 2019. So I will just copy it, control C as control V. So now let us run this and see if we are getting the correct answer. Okay, so see, the answer is accepted. So basically what we have done, we have taken user ID and they have renamed the user ID to buyer ID. So don't get confused. You have to take user ID, then the join date. These were the very first table, and then you have to count the number of times they have acted as a buyer in a particular order. So I have taken count of order ID, and then we have joined group by using the user ID. So this will count every user, how many times they acted as a buyer in a particular order, and when. So the first condition was year should be 2019, and o.user ID should be we are joining these two tables on the user ID and buyer ID. So basically what will happen is, if these two table, when we will take this suppose first into consideration, so one is being joined with this one and this one, these two times it would be joined, but the second condition will eliminate this 2018 and will give only one as a count. So that is what the SQL engine is processing with our code, and that is what we have written. So I hope you would have understood this question, and if there's any doubt in this question, just write a comment and I will explain you in a much better way, if possible, by giving more time on this question. Else, I think we have done so many videos on joining and all, and that I think you would have known how to do that. So, okay, I will see you in my next video. Till then, keep practicing, keep learning, and goodbye.